Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. We're going to take a look at the GC, the ES, and the NQ, and we're going to talk about that dual trend again because they did it again, of course. And I'm gonna give you a couple targets on the upside that may be a little closer to where price is at. We're going to take a look at that information and what they've done since the other video. So that was 2 days ago as I shot the video, and so we're going to give you just a little bit more information. And Dimitri, thank you so much. I didn't want to forget this. Thank you so much for the comments. The comments over on TikTok. I really appreciate you, my friend. You're very supportive. I'm unable to follow anyone over here on TikTok. So if you're viewing this on YouTube, I'm unable to follow you guys back. I've tried to make them aware of the issue for the past 2 months, and they haven't resolved it yet. So I don't know when they're going to do it. And then also, I'm making the videos a little bit longer because there's a few topics that I have to, of course, touch on. In TikTok, they don't allow for longer videos. So unfortunately, but I'll try to shorten them up via the next video, possibly, so I can get that on TikTok for you guys. All right, so but thank you, all of you, for watching the material and those that's liking the videos. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Let's get into some of this information. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now go. We were on this bar here. All right, so we were on this bar 2 days ago. All right, and I told you, unless they plan on wicking out, that they could possibly run here and then come in here and there's the no close bar and then go back up, because I didn't think that they'll run straight away to here. I didn't think that, and I told you, even if they did take off, that they may turn around when they get about right here, lean back, and then go again. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip these zones. All right, we're going to flip these zones because they look like they may go ahead and run to here. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of anticipate that move, and we're going to flip the zones upside down right now. Let's do this, and I wanted to do it in front of you. So let's do that. So that way you can kind of get an idea of how to go about this. All right. So we're going to go green, and we're going to go. Let's go. Let's go 75 here. I'm going to kind of do it this way. Let's go 75 here, and then let's do 85 here. Going to make the opacity of this just a tad bit darker because this will be our second zone, because that's kind of how they were billing themselves, kept digging down into this bar. And so now today's low is actually holding the zone. All right. So we kind of fell outside of it yesterday. Today's low is holding the zone. Now we can move this down as well. Let's kind of do this too. All right. Let's do this too. And that's pretty much kind of how you want to see it anyway. You want to see them hold it. You don't want to see them keep trading through it. That's just not what you want. Let's go 19. Nope, want to go 1985 here. And then we're going to go, yeah, so that'll work. All right, so yeah. So now we're going to flip it. Even though they was trading towards the back of it, we'll flip it and see, can they hold this area, run to here, and then possibly lean back over. And if they lean back over, they may do something a little deeper and hit this target before getting to that 55 up here. So that's really the goal. You want to get them to these targets from the clusters. All right. So you want to go from the clusters to the target. Let's see if they can hold this area here and take off. They managed to wick out. I didn't think that they'll want to do it, even though I know I got the bar here for the participation. That hard stop is there. They traded, they didn't kick it, and they're trying to get up. I know that this shouldn't reverse here now. Now, I mean, yesterday, well, a couple days ago, I thought that maybe, just maybe, that they'll go down a bit. Now, again, it's in an uptrend, so it's supposed to go back up. So, not so much a reversal to go back down through this bottom, but just reverse off this high, dig back, hit this target, pick it back up, and then go ahead and give you that trend distance. But today's activity is kind of proving that they may get here before, turning back around. So let's see if they'll go ahead and do what I think they're going to do, run up into this area here, kind of lean back just a bit before getting that distance. We'll see if they can do that. All right. But let's go ahead and flip that. All right. Now let's take a look at this ES. And so I did tell you on the last video, I told you that they would probably, get above this bar. I told you, but then you had the no close bar up here. I told you that. And there's the center of the chart, and I told you that, if they was going to go back up, they need to hurry up and get back to it. I put the intraday zones in here, and we're going to take a look at these zones. All right, so from where they turn from. All right, so where they turn from, because this bar was trading, they hadn't broke this high yet. This bar was trading when I shot the last video. They were still inside that wick. All right, you can go back and watch the last video. and they made it up here to the zone. So I actually put this on the smaller time frame. So we're going to look at this information on the smaller time frame, as well as what they did on the way down on yesterday and even today. We'll take a look at that information there. So they're going down. There's no question about that. And I suspect that they're going to go right through that 150. This cluster may not turn them back around. It may not do it. They can get here, lift back up, and from there, matter of fact, I'm gonna move this cluster here. Hopefully, I move the right one. Yeah, let's remove this because I don't think that's gonna turn them. So we're gonna see what this does when they come into this zone here. They got another set of levels back in here. Let me put them in there right now for you guys. Let's do that. Let's give you the intraday view on this because if they run past those zones, we're going to go with this 95 down to 85 and then 85 down to 75. Okay, so this is how you would approach it. And we're going to see what they'll do. We're going to see what they'll do. I do believe that they're in trouble. They're in trouble. But let's see. Let's just see. Let's see. Now they may give a bigger lift from this zone here. They may. I don't know. But we'll see. I did tell you in the last video they still down. They can keep going down. They can. I told you that when we were looking at the NQ chart that they're in a downtrend and they can keep going down. So anybody that's trying to buy this, eh, they had two trends that didn't work. That's really not ideal to go up anymore. It's like now really get the point that they have no intent on doing that. So don't go that way anymore. At least not for a while. So just giving you a little bit more information. When they run over trends like that, that's just bad. Now on the ES, I did tell you there was never a uptrend in any of this. So from up here, once they made that trend, they've been down the whole time. There was never a trend. You got one, two, three, four, five. Actually, it's five because well, no, it's six because you can count this because the low is here. So it's one, two, three, four, five. There's six. That's not seven. Them guys turned around and they're still down. So they can keep going down. And to be quite honest with you, unless they plan on stopping in here, lifting up, kind of giving back a little bit, unless they plan on doing that, they're going to probably just blow this area and definitely wind up back beneath these lows over here. So, but this should be now. I'm gonna just do this because this area right in here. I'm not gonna put a zone there. I'm not gonna put a zone there. I don't want to do that. But let's do this because this would be from your 250. Okay, so you're going 250 up to your 350, and so from here, being that they'll blow the zone, you will go 150 up to the 250. So they definitely should hit the wall here if they lift up and definitely not blow this zone and just take off again. All right. So, but I'm not going to put that zone there. We're just going to kind of leave that void there. We're going to leave that open. And I'm going to remove these in a second. All right. So let's take a look at that ES on the 1 minute. So that high that they made, matter of fact, let me go back and get that really quickly here so you can see for yourself. This is something that I want you guys to be able to do. All right. So here, let's get that high. That's 90.50, 290.50. All right, 290.50, the H, 290.50 if you're new to NinjaTrader. Let's get this high. 290.50. All right, so 290.50, that's that zone. All right, now here's the ranges. Let me kind of scroll back a little bit more so you can see the ranges kind of fell under the range. This is the overnight one from the day before. This is the overnight one and the one from that morning. And then no, actually that's from that morning. That morning, actually. That's actually from that morning. They just did it real late in the evening. Okay, let's do this. Let's go back here. That's the overnight range. I don't trade ES, trade that NQ. They went under that range, clearly. Got back above the center of that range. There you go. There's the trend. All right, let me scroll it all the way to the right edge of the chart so you can kind of see the scale come into play as well. Got above the center of the chart, the upper part of the scale. Came down. Now they're making that morning's range. They're making that. All right. So now you're still in uptrend because there's no downtrend in any of this. So you're still holding it. You're not letting it go. And then of course you got a downtrend there. But remember, I told you it cannot be both. Remember, I said that dual trend stuff. Okay, you got a trend coming down. Okay, well, it can't be both. take out the bottom of the range at least. Take out this leg here. Take it out. They didn't even do that. So you can definitely know, well, they shouldn't wind up all the way back to the bottom, and it cannot be both. The market is very, very cyclical. So you got to just kind of hold your hand a bit and just know that, hey, until you do this, I'm not going to do that, and that's all. So when they're making downtrends, when they make downtrends, the center of the downtrend, you don't want them kind of taking that out, or the uptrend, you don't want them taking that out. If they can take that out, they'll keep going. And so when they made this downtrend, kind of the same thing. Once they make the downtrend, if they take out the center of that trend, there's a chance that they'll get right through it. There's a chance. It's a chance. Just something to consider. All right. So there's the move up. Now they're making another downtrend. Stay down to what, after three? Okay, and then ran back up there. Now that's that high. All right, so that's that high on that bar, and we've been kind of like just going down ever since. All right, so that's why I say you can combine the scale and the ranges. You can kind of put all that information together, should you want to. Now, do you need it all? Absolutely not. I would honestly tell you, I know Dimitri here said it's a little bit to put it all together. It's a little challenging, but what you would want to do, step one, is know what the trend is. Step one, I promise you, definitely gonna want to know what the trend is. That's that first buy zone on that daily chart. You're gonna want to know what that trend is. That's really important. Now, of course, if you flip the zone upside down, you would go from the what is that? That 15 up to 25. So you would go up to 25. Matter of fact, let's I'll do that in a minute. Yeah, so you will want to know what the trend is first. Step one, we'll do all that in a second. Step one, know what the trend is, and then know where the real participation is at. Those are the two things you're definitely going to want to make sure that you hold on to. And then if you can, do number three. Know where price is at in the grand scale of the chart. Like, where are we at realistically with the whole chart? That's all. Where are we at? And so they failed through both of those zones. So what you would do now? Let's do this right now. Let's do this while we can, so you can kind of see it. I want to give you just a little bit more information on that NQ, but we're going to do a little bit of this too while we're here. Let's go. So yeah, you're gonna want to go with at least those two things right away. So even if you can't hold on to the range times, if you can't, of course, utilize the chart scale, which I know you hadn't downloaded the platform yet, Dimitri. I know you haven't had the chance to do that, but you will have the range and the chart scale once you're able to get that accomplished. But if you're someone listening and you haven't reached out to me to get the chart scale and the range, I would strongly suggest to you, please, people, please, whatever you do, make sure that you know what the trend is. Make sure you know what the real participation is. Don't let these guys fool you. Don't let them fool you. Have you, of course, going in the wrong direction, and they, run you over and take advantage of you. That's not what I want for you. So I'm trying my best to offer you some foundational, holistic approach to the markets, and it shouldn't take you forever to get profitable. It shouldn't take you too long. You should be able to, become profitable within, I would say, a reasonable amount of time, 90 days. It's kind of like a job. Within about 90 days, you should be able to get a foundation going. That's all. Now, we flip the zones upside down. So now you would just play it this way. All right. So let's take a look at that information and see how that works. All right. So let's see. We know they kind of failed through this one too. I'll flip it in a second. They tried to give you some long side participation. They tried their best. Matter of fact, we'll just leave that. We'll just leave that there. Let's just leave that zone there. We'll just leave those two. We'll take that one away. And we can take a look at this one. But that's this morning's activity. So there's this morning's range. They made an uptrend. Clearly your 930 came in right about here. So you were significantly up the board. You was up there. And they flipped it. All right. So they flipped it on you. And I can understand, again, it's not a downtrend as of yet, even though, they came off the high really aggressive. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. Now remember, you got the center of your trend down here. I believe they hit that here. Okay. They dropped down, hit the center of that trend. You got 7 in here. That's, okay. Whenever they're doing this, it's a little small bar stepping up real, back to back kind of activity. You got your center down there. They ran down to it, gave you some more of that trend distance. Now you got 5 here. You just need 2 more. They ran up there. You could have tried to get in that. I mean, there is a setup here. The moment that this bar right here, no sooner it start moving and jumping above this bar's high, you're in it. You take the trade hard stop there. You would have caught most of this back up. But remember, you got this up here too. They would have got up there, didn't want to give you the close above that bar. Okay. They would have got up there. They would have passed these. Okay. And I told you they could pass a couple of them. You just don't want them passing a lot of them. And also, it depends on what the couple of them look like. See, and that's another thing too. But here, there are some filters I have for this pattern that comes with the training. I'm gonna go ahead and say that now. There are some filters that I have. So even for bad signals that you may see in this indicator, there's some filters that I do apply. There's actually a couple other indicators that come with this whole no touch, no close setup. There's a couple other ones that come with it. But it has some other information involved in the code that I can't just release to you unless you're a student. So you got to get the indicator if you were a student, all right? And that's the only thing. It's a couple other indicators actually. So, but yeah, no close back above here, mid of the turn. Remember, I told you the mid of the turn is important. The second bar lower, the open of that second bar lower is important as well. There you go. You got four, at least four of them. At the bare minimum, you got four up here, and they came down. And so once you got these two here, okay, now that's completing the whole process. One, two, three, four, five, six. There's seven. All right. So once you get that seven, it should give you that distance. Now, this is the nasty part. This is the part that don't nobody like, and we talked about this in the last video here. Okay, let's get that seven going. Let's go ahead and get that going here. All right, so that's the seven. Just kind of do this, kind of make this red. All right, so I don't want to hold you long, but I definitely want to go over that NQ. All right, so here, after they made the seven, you could have took this one. You could have, there's the pattern here. Now this one was pretty close. Well, no, it won't. That won't it. I'm sorry. This one right here, yes. Once that mid fell below this lower this bar, there's your hard stop here. You could take out that distance. All right. Not too bad. They didn't get all the way back up to the center of the trend. That's the thing that I really be wanting for myself. Get to the center of the trend, but sometimes they can go off of that trend bar and actually get there. They can. Sometimes they'll run on. It just depends on what's over here. Because in the last video, they had a lot of pivots, and I told you that people will pick it up. They'll try to buy it. But in the last video, they had an acceleration, and so it made it easier for people to see that yeah, I can get long here, and it may work. And it ended up not working, and they turned around. But it did pop up at least. And again, you can see it here. There's pivots over here. People will buy and it lifted up, but you got to know what a reversal is. That is two things that I can tell you when it comes to reversals: the mid of the reversal and the open of that second bar lower. Important stuff. That's just two things. There's actual several things that you want to look for, but that's two things outright. I can tell you that's really easy. So you could have grabbed this straight away. Yeah, there's not much going on over here, and other than the ranges, and they would have gave you that distance. You could have attempted it again. So there's not six here, seven here. You could try it again. They almost made it, and then they came with this ridiculous jump here. This is absolutely insane. Let's kind of count this out. So one, two, three, four, five, six, and there's seven. So let's go ahead and measure this. Okay, so you got seven. Hold on, let me kind of change the color on this one as well. You got seven here. Let's take a look at how all of this worked. Because they're famous for putting two trends on the board and then kind of having you wondering which one will they do. And that's why I tell you that it cannot be both. That would have put them back up here through this high. Okay, now off of the center of it all would have been right in this area here. You can see they tried to lift right here, but remember I told you in the last video, they made a trend back in this direction. Reiterating, it's the same thing from the last video that I shot. Reiterating the same message. So you got one, two, three, four, five, six, and there's seven before they got to your center of your trend here. That's reiterating the same information over here. Same thing. They ran up to the no close bar here. Well, the stop, hard stop. They didn't close above this bar, tagged it. Here you go again. Four. It's a lot of them here. Okay. This is what you're looking for when it comes to, these no close bars. It will really help. Even this pop up here ran into the no close bar, turned around and gave it to you. Once they turn. Now I understand you not wanting to go back down. Don't just wait until they make a trend back down and see can you get it to of course move down and offer you what you need. All right, so really simple stuff there. They didn't want to make that trend distance. They got halfway. That's pretty good. You can almost count that for a trend distance because they got halfway. So that's not bad. All right, so that right there is what you have with that. And again, all of that started from that daily. All right, so I wanted to make sure I put this in front of you as well. And again, I don't trade the ES, but this is one that you can trade. You can trade this one if you want. I just wanted to put it in front of you so you can see it. I think we flipped the zone. Did we flip it? No, it's still right there. Okay, so yeah, so they went into that zone, and of course they fell down, went through the buy side, and then you flip the zone, and then it becomes the sell side zone. And that's what you have. All right, so they ran up there again. They ran up there this morning and kind of failed. So I'm gonna just I'll just minimize that. All right, so here's the NQ. Kind of the same ordeal. We were on this bar here, and I did tell you that they'll probably go past here. They would. You got your no close bar here. I told you they shouldn't get too much further past that. Hopefully, but there's a bounce here. I told you. I said it's a chance that they'll keep going. They can. Tell you that. Unless they wanted to be difficult, and that's why I didn't put any more zones in there. That's the only reason I said unless they want to do something crazy like that, they should wind up being just fall. But there's some activity here. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at this zone. We're going to take a look at this zone on the did I put this on? No, I don't think I did. Um, but we're definitely going to look at this 1 minute. Let's look at the 1 minute and take a look at this information. And then we're going to look at those targets. And then I'm gonna give you a couple other targets and I'll let you go. Remember number five. Please remember number five, people. It's really important. Again, I try to bring this information in a very holistic approach. Now, I teach you targeting if you ever need, and that's the key, need to be trained. I'll try to give you enough information on here that you can just skip that process and don't even have to, get formally trained. But if you need, I'm here. Targets. This is something that I'll teach you. I'll teach you how to target, how to get realistic targets that'll get hit. And that's the key. So now let's take a look at some of that. Let's take a look. So now here's that target. All right. So here's that target. They made it. Let's do this. Let's put this here. They made it. All right. And I gave you this target 2 days ago when they were. We're gonna take a look at where they was at. Let's go back here. Yeah. So yeah, I gave you that target, and price was trading right here. All right. So price was trading right here on the 24th. Now, Dimitri, if you go and look back in your email, my friend, I gave you that target of that 298 and a quarter. I gave you that back on the 19th. It was the 19th when we was discussing the actual purchase there with the indicator. I gave you that target. I told you that that center of that trend on that daily, don't think it would hold it. And that's what I said. And I highlighted it in the email. So if you go back, I told you that 7 days ago. 7 days ago, I gave you that 298 target. And so 2 days ago, I told the people online, but I want to make sure that I hope that you were able to get to it. I hope you were able to get some of it anyway. So here, we were right here, and I gave you that target down below as well as the ones above. They managed to get one of them. I kind of gave you a couple of them here. Let's do this. Charts be doing some funny stuff sometimes. All right, so I gave you a few of them, and I told you about that 309. I told you about that 309. That if they wanted to do that, but I gave you that 298 as well as that 169 2 days ago. Now I told Dimitri about this 298 7 days ago, but there's targets actually a little further out. I just try to give you something to shoot towards when I'm on here on the social networks here. But this is how I trade off screen all the time. All right. So if you want to look at the chart scale, let's do that. If you want to look at the chart scale and kind of how all of that come into play with the ranges. All right. Remember, you want to use the ranges as well. The center of the range is important. Make sure you use the ranges. They will really, really help. So even if you don't have, of course, the ability to take the training or whatever, you could still use these ranges and get some pretty decent movement. You can. All you would have to do is go with the center of the range. Try to make sure you use that as a bias. Just use that as a bias as well as the chart scale. I mean, you can kind of see they came down. They didn't get beneath the center of the scale, and they ran back up and they got that target. All right, so they kind of was up above the upper part of the scale, kind of dipped down, didn't get inside that range, and then took off and got that target. And so then they got under the center of the scale here, and there's the ranges. Play the backside of the midpoint. Remember, I told you the midpoint of the range. You want to utilize this information because it'll help you get there. All right. So, and then of course they're still beneath the center of the chart. All right, that's number three. Step number three. Step number one, know what your trend is. Step number two, look for the bar pattern that has the real participation. All right, real participation. And then if you can, don't want to, put too much information there that you can't trade successfully. Know what the trend is, know where the momentum, where the real participants are showing up. And then from there, if you can, utilize your chart scale. It'll help you a great deal because it'll give you a location of where they may turn from. And that's for those that may not be NinjaTrader users and don't have the time ranges. You can, of course, don't have to worry about drawing this information out. And you can just look at your chart scale and say, hey, there's a chance it'll go. Bottom of the scale, it should go some more. They gapped off the bottom of the scale. All right. I don't know if you caught that. Of course, they ran away again. They came close to that target yesterday. Really, really came really close. Made it. And then, of course, they was being cyclical. Then this morning, remember, the center of the scales. You want to make, center of the ranges. You want to play those. That'll help. And then, of course, there you are. They're at that target. Now, let me give you a couple targets, and then I will let you go. So now let's get rid of this one. Let's get rid of that one. And I'm gonna let you go. And then I'll just come back maybe sometime next. Let's just move this down. Let's move this down to 856. So let's go 856. They may wanna now they may not go that far. Let's do 670. Let's do 670. 670 is somewhere in here. If they decide they want to come back up, I'm gonna give you a target to shoot for. If they decide that they want to come up, let's go 670. 670, 50. Let's go 670, 50. So if they're going to come up, and I'll come back maybe sometime next week, and we'll take a look and see if they made it to the 670. Okay, so we know that we got a couple more well above us, but if they lift up and they got one like 856, 856, I'll just mention that to you. I'll mention it to you. I'm not gonna put it there, but 856, that'll be somewhere right in this area here. But if they can get up here, they can go get this one. I think they could. So but if they want to, of course, be difficult about the situation, they can come right up here, hit this one, maybe turn back down, come back into this area here, and then continue on. All right. So if you want the indicator, I'm gonna say this: if you want the indicator, just you can email me, and we'll discuss how you can obtain it. For those that just want the chart scale, if you just want the chart scale, you want the ranges. If you want the ranges and the chart scale combination as a template, I have that for you for free. You can have it. All you have to do is just email me, let me know you want it. And if you don't mind, say thank you when I send it to you. I like when we exercise the proper etiquette. It's really important to respect one another and show a level of appreciation towards one another. I appreciate you taking the time to even watch the video. Thank you so much. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the time that we've been spending here for the last few videos. I know I've shot at least 4 or 5 videos in like the last week or so, but I hope you guys have really been able to utilize the information. And of course, Dimitri, you definitely let me know that you're doing it. And Santiago, I appreciate you as well, my friend. And Payman, thank you so much, my friend. You guys are always commenting and letting me know that you enjoy the videos, and I'm so glad that you do. You are the reasons why I make the video. I want to make sure that people are able to get what it is they want from the market and do it quickly, not pull up the chart and feel lost. I don't want you to feel lost when you look at the chart. I don't. When you pull up the chart, I want you to immediately, that's the point. I want you to immediately know what's possible. That's all. What's likely. That's all. So let's take a look at this. In condensed, digestible way. This is the key right here. Not a whole lot of time talking to you, giving you a whole lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense. And I want you to do it with any market, any time frame at first glance. That's really the goal of the channel. And I want to make sure that this is a library that you can come here and just reference the information. And of course, get to whatever it is that you would like to get to. So if you want the indicator, you all you would have to do is mention it in the email, if you want the chart scale and the range. If you want that indicator, just let me know. I'll let you know what you'll have to do in order to obtain that information. All right. So I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.